What do you guys think about gate kept success?
Ooh. Like, okay, that means pretty much success that people don't want to share as far as like the advice and
It
how
could
they
be,
got
yeah,
there.
exactly. It could be from, or does it matter to you more if it's from like people you know?
Does that they gatekeep that for me?
Yeah. Would you do two questions actually? Let me say this again. Then, what do you feel about in general as a whole gate kept success? And two, do you think it matters more to you if it's from people that you know, as opposed to other random like billionaires that we know and heard of and all that?
It would matter a lot because especially if like for me, if the person who if it's something like if I help them out and they decide not to show some love back to me, I don't try to do things for people to get something in return. But if I'm asking someone for help and they're gatekeeping it like that,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big no no. If it's something where they were successful and they just, I never asked and they never shared it with me,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I'm trying to get advice out of them, wisdom out of them, and they say, just figure it out. It's funny. Someone popped into my head when I was saying this. Then yeah, I would absolutely be opposed to hanging out with them anymore and stuff like that.
What do you think?
I mean, I kind of feel the same way. Like, if I don't know somebody and they didn't share anything,
Mm-hmm.
it's fine. But
No, if you knew them,
like, yeah, okay. If I know them, if there's someone that's asking you a lot of questions and you always share, because you just want to, I rather, like, if I ask them a question and they say to me, "Hey, figure out yourself," I would
Mm-hmm.
be annoyed with that person. Um, Especially like we're not looking to, I don't know, take their whatever the hell they know, right?
Yeah.
Take it away or compete with them,
Yeah.
right? Just like to
Just
get
for
us,
knowledge.
just to for knowledge and stuff. But I feel like people have the right, if they want to be like that, then you're probably gonna receive the same thing back
Mm-hmm.
from me, So it's okay. I have a lot of friends that are okay with sharing. We all share whatever
Mm-hmm.
we want about our life and stuff, and so I think it depends on how my feelings are towards that person. So
Mm-hmm.
if I have a friend like you, like if you tell me things that you wouldn't share with
Yeah.
somebody else, I would do the same thing. But if
Yeah.
I have a friend that's not doing it,
Mm-hmm.
I have no reason to share anything with
Yeah.
them. So that's the way I feel. I said, like, whatever you sow, you're gonna get. So
Yeah, no, I agree with both of you guys. I always make it a point for myself at least, because like me looking in, like inwards, to myself, uh, and like how difficult it was for me to get to where I am, and the steps I've taken, and I don't want to say I didn't have any help. I had help from a lot of people, right? But I had to make those journeys myself. So if I'm able to make someone else's journey in those endeavors shorter or put more ease into it, I'm all for that. I don't I don't think at it as a competitive thing. Like if you were to tell me, "Hey, I want to get into your field. How do I do it?" I'm not gonna get like, like, "Oh my god, he's trying to get into the industry I'm in." Like, "Oh my god, what does that mean for me?" Like, no, I'm gonna tell you. I have nothing to hide. I'm thriving in my own thing. My friends can thrive in their own thing. And me just giving them advice that costs nothing. So,
I think the biggest, some gatekeepers like if you want to buy something, right, and you saw somebody have it, and you're like, "Hey, where'd you get that from?"
yeah,
They go, "Don't worry about it." It's like, I'm not asking for you to buy it, right?
yeah,
Or like, there's a couple of friends, right? They know a lot about cars. We're like, "Hey, how do you get this fixed? Where did you get this from? I want to get it too."
yeah,
Don't worry about it, right? I'm not telling you. Like, I want to know, like that kind of gatekeeping.
yeah,
That thing annoys me a lot.
yeah.
So when it comes to like life stuff, maybe like jobs and all that
Mhm.
stuff, I guess that's okay. Like, but like a restaurant, I'm not telling you where I got this good ass food from.
Oh, hold on. I have to say something. There was a meme online I saw, and this guy posted on his Instagram story of like the food he was eating, and this guy messaged him like, how you like message on the story. He's like, "Hey, like that looks really good over here. Where is that?" And this guy's like, "Oh, the restaurant just closed. I got the last plate. Don't worry about it." But the food was good.
nah.
Right, like,
No, I can show you guys. I'll show you guys later. Like there, it's so funny. He actually said, oh, the restaurant closed. I got the last plate, but the food was good.
I think I have a buddy who he worked with the owner of a small business a while ago, and it was funny. Like they it's like a I don't want to get too into it, but they make stuff there, and one of the supplies that they need, they have to go to New York for, and the owner, like, so this is his like right hand man, but the owner would never tell him where he would get the stuff from, and because it was like, oh, if I tell you, you can just go to that same place and buy it, and then because you can mix it yourself. And I'm like, why would like
That's
it's
so.
it's not like it's like a recipe or anything. It's like it's like the ingredients to
Mhm.
make the creation.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would you gatekeep that? I mean, but that's sort of goes into like the protectionism that people have
Mhm.
of whether it's like their IP or whether it's like a certain skill set, like how to create whatever it is, how to create a video or how to create food, right? People like to gatekeep because they want to feel valued and they're insecure that way.
Actually, I want to say this as a counterpoint to what he was saying earlier. He's like, oh, when someone buys a car or whatever, let's. What if like you see someone wearing like some nice shoes or some like cool like what's the word, like exclusive T-shirt from like some brand? Do you think it's also because people want to have that feeling of being an individual, and that's the way they express themselves, right? A lot of people express themselves in various different ways, right? Maybe this one person likes to express themselves in the way they dress, right? They put a lot of effort into it to dress the way they dress because that's their personality. That's how they get to show their personality, who they are. Do you think it's valid for them then to be like, hey, don't worry about it, or I don't want to tell you, because they put so much thought and effort, into creating those looks for themselves and creating that, like, the fashion statement that they want to create, that someone just comes along and it's like, hey, how'd you do that? I want to do exactly that. And then they're like, hey, I put time and effort and hours into this. I'm not just going to give you everything like that. Like, what do you feel about that?
I mean, it kind of goes into the like it's not, some people don't ask for that. I
Mhm.
think a lot of people ask for like, hey, how do I make something like that myself?
Mhm.
Right? Not how do I copy yours.
Mhm.
So it's like, when you ask a business person, right? Someone who owns a gas station, hey, how did you become so successful?
Mhm.
It's not like I'm saying, hey, give me your gas station or give me everything that you've done.
Mhm.
Like, just give me a few tips so I can run a successful gas station too.
Yeah.
So I can create something
I mean, some people
successful
feel
too.
insecure about that. That's why they don't want to share.
Mhm.
Exactly.
But I think it's like you shouldn't be afraid. I feel like somebody's doing that. You're just afraid of, I don't know, competition or something. But I I think if it's not like something personal and stuff, and somebody's genuinely just asking to make themselves better, and if they're in your life, you should be able to share. You know, I've done that before. I've had friends that help me out with any questions. Like, I'm just saying, if you call a friend up or like you ask them a question, they're like, "I'm not telling you." Are you really their friend?
I think it's what I hate is like when people say like, yeah, I make a lot of money, right? And it's like, but they never share the number. They're like, yeah, I do really good, but I'm not gonna say much else besides that. Just look at the car I'm in. Just look at the, and then
Yeah.
you're sitting there like, first of all, like, we're supposed to be friends.
Yeah.
Second of all, I don't care because
Yeah.
I met you when you were dirt broke.
Yeah.
So like, why are you trying to flaunt? And then not only that, like maybe if I wanted to ask them like, hey, what's a good sort of, if you own a business, what's a good revenue target to hit, right? That makes you comfortable,
Mhm.
right? And maybe I can use that to be like, you know what, all I need to do is hit that,
Mhm.
and I'll have like a comfortable life.
Mhm.
Like, people aren't willing to share, and I get it. Like, people don't like to share that type of stuff, and especially it'll change friendships depending on who you are, right? But it's one of those like sensitive things that people, like I said, don't like to talk about.
Do you think this is a bigger issue? Like, do you think this is happening like across the globe in other communities as well, or do you think it's more narrowed down to like a Western issue? And do you think that's also kind of signifies that we don't really have a sense of community anymore?
No, I think that's wrong. You can go back home and the gatekeeping's been a thing forever. It doesn't have to be
Go back
fun,
home. Which
like
home?
Pakistan or
Yeah.
India, whatever. So it's don't tell your auntie this, you know,
Yeah,
don't
that
tell
we
your
got
cousin.
this.
No, I'm not even talking about financial stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just saying, hey, don't tell your cousins that we got this, or don't
Yeah.
let them know how we got it, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just I feel
Like
like
what? Because they're gonna ask for something.
I feel like they want to feel that they're better than whoever the other person is, or they want to feel better that hey, we have this, but we don't want
So,
them to have it.
so do you think this means that we? So you answered the first part. You're saying this is a global thing, not just a Western thing.
It's a
So then,
personality, like
no, but
egotistic thing.
so do you think this means that we have somewhat of a flaw in our sense of community then globally?
You answer that?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Do we have globally? Yeah, I wouldn't even say it's a community thing. I think it's a human thing.
I think it's
Like,
individual. It depends on the
oh,
individual.
now you're gonna answer.
Right. But when you gave me a
Planted the seed.
Yeah.
It's a egotistical personality thing.
I wouldn't consider everybody just because they don't share they're egotistical or something. It's just I don't know. I feel like it depends on what you are trying to gain the knowledge of.
Mhm.
There's some people that won't even share basic things with you.
I think it
You know?
depends. If I were to go to you and be like, Barco, and see you got a company, right? I'm like, Barco, I need to see your numbers to see how they match up so then I can reference it, right? I feel like that's asking a lot. We know each other for a long time, right? I feel like even me, that feels weird for me to even, and awkward to even ask you that, right? But if I say, hey, Barco, I'm trying to start this business. This is what I have, in theoretical projections. Do you think this is good, right? And from there, if you end up sharing your numbers and I end up sharing my numbers, that's a whole complete different topic. But I feel like you have to start small to get those doors open. Like I'm not gonna come to you, hey, show me social security number, right? Like, wait, what? Not that that would ever happen, but but you know
That's crazy.
You know,
That's
you
crazy
start
as
small.
that.
Like, hey, I have a business. You know, I'm not gonna ask you. You show me your numbers.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm starting a business. This is what I'm thinking of. And you're off the bat. You're like, oh wait, no, that's not a good number because I started with X, and you're like $10,000 below what I did.
Yeah.
And you know, and then that's how you. Because then now you've opened up, you know, the doors, to share numbers and be more open, right? And then I'm like, oh, okay, he's giving some up. All right, let me put some trust in as well and tell him, okay, well, I only have $10,000 to put in. What do you think I could do with that? And then I think that's easier.
Yeah, I think and I think I'm thinking about it now. I think even putting ego aside, or putting asking too much aside, I think innately, evolutionarily speaking, there's a lot of people that, you know, they think in order to be successful, they need to bring another person down. Sort of like the what you were saying earlier with the, oh, you're coming to my industry. It's like a threat, right?
Yeah.
And so they only base their success off of, like, relative to what the next highest level person's doing.
Yeah.
Right. So if I'm a millionaire, right, I'm thinking, again, if I'm this type of person,
Yeah.
if I'm a millionaire, I'm thinking, what's my next closest friend making? Like, how much more is it? Is he
Yeah.
is he at 900,000?
Yeah.
Well, I need to be at like 10 million, right? Because people think like the bigger the delta, the better they are, because the average of their 5 friends is X amount. So I need to make like twice as much,
Yeah.
because I want to be twice as successful, right? So it's all relative. It's all based on who, like, that person knows. And so, like, for me, I think, it's so funny. Growing up, I hear like people say, oh, try to try to hang around high net worth people, right? Even when I worked at a sales job, being a financial services representative, the whole name of the game was to get yourself, go to these country clubs, get yourself in, having dinner with these rich white men, and you will be absorbed in their network, and you will grow your assets as well. And I'm sitting there like, listen, I can try all day to learn which fork to use for my salad,
Yeah.
how to cut steak the right way.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna be able to communicate and really assimilate myself with this group of people, because we have nothing in common, I'm like forced in the relationship. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was like, so, JD Vance, our VP, he made a documentary called Hillbilly Elegy.
What?
Hillbilly Elegy.
Hillbilly Elegy.
Yeah, elegy. I don't know what elegy is. Probably like diary. I don't know. But there's a Netflix movie based on the book, and it's a really good movie actually. You know, setting aside all the politics, like it's a really good movie, and he goes through that. He's a hillbilly that sort of comes into white collar, goes to Yale. He went to Yale,
Okay.
and he's like trying to like sit in with the some law firm and like trying to be with the rich wealthy white people, and he's like doesn't know how to uh doesn't know which fork to use, and he's freaking out, and they're talking smack about like his hillbilly roots a bit. So it's one of those things where it's like I can't think about going back to the main point. I can't think to be around people just for the sake of the fact that they have money.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be around people who are changing the world. I want to be around people that make me happy or build me up, and I can build them up.
What did you want to say?
I was gonna say like if I'm just speaking like group of people that are around my life, my friends, family, it does not matter. Like if somebody's successful, want to like become millionaires, that's good for you, right? Great, I'm happy. But for me, the money, it's not about the money. It's about what kind of person you are. You can be a millionaire, or you can be working a minimum wage job.
Yeah.
Right. I would look at you the same way depending on how you treated me and others around you. You know how good of a friend. So I don't think money. I don't look at it just because you have more money doesn't mean I'm gonna like you more.
Yeah.
So,
back to your point, you were saying how you can't really relate to the rich millionaires, right? And it reminds me of the movie, The Founder. Because remember, the first people he goes to like are his rich friends, and they get the franchise and they're running it to the ground. They're like, oh, who cares? Like, we don't care about this, right? And he realizes like, I don't need rich people to have money to spare because they're not going to care about it. I need someone that has ambition. So I think that's also another thing as well, is that you can like, yeah, you can. The benefit with the rich person is that you could start with that capital up higher or some other maybe monetary or like networking benefits, right? But with a person that has ambition and drive, and you two both like get an idea going, I think that is a lot better, more fruitful.
No, 1,000%, 1,000%. I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
I don't know what were you.
Now I was gonna go reference back to the movie. Like the rich people only cared about making a profit.
Yeah, yeah.
The persons he ended up getting eventually, they cared about growing and how to make the business better with the family, with the wife, with the husband, kids, and all that stuff. So that's what he ended up figuring out. That's why McDonald's is still here. If he would have gone with what the original thing he was doing, they probably would have collapsed in a few years.
Or Burger King would have been the new McDonald's.
Well, there's no movie that calls The Founder for Burger King,
right? The Burger. Or Wendy's.
Who's the king?
Who's the king?
Who's Wendy's?
Who's Wendy's? I mean, yeah. What do you think are some of the like? I always get scared. So in my sociology class, there's like, okay, there's a certain bar of success, and then that is correlated with the amount of sacrifice you need to make to get to that success. A lot of the sacrifice you make has to do with changing how you are and your personality. So you can't get to success with the personality that you're born with or that you're raised, as a kid and stuff like that. You have to make trade-offs. So like, I guess an example of that is, I guess a menial example is if I act immature and I'm like expecting everything to come to me, I will not work hard enough to get to that place of success, right? I'll like if I want to create a business and become successful, I have to work for it. I can't expect it to come to me, right? Or a more advanced example is if I think about caring too much about filling people's pockets to the point where I'm giving all the profits of the business to all the employees and there's nothing to pay the bills, I will also become unsuccessful. So I have to be a little bit less empathetic of people and more empathetic of the business in order to succeed. So what do you think? Like, do you guys think that you've lost a little bit of yourselves to get to where you are now?
Can I answer that real quick? So I think I remember telling you this a while back over the phone, probably like a year or two ago. And what I realized was basically exactly what you're saying. So everyone wants some sort of thing, right? Whether it's a new job or they're trying to find a spouse or trying to move somewhere or just want some sort of big change to happen in life, right? And yeah, you're right. You can't just wish for those things, pray for those things, and then just sit back and be like, oh, well, any minute now, my blessing's going to be here. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. You put in the effort. Even a small percent of effort compounds over weeks, days, months, years, whatever, right? But the other thing I realized was you also, like you said, look internally. Who are you as a person, right? Like you said, if you want to have a business but you're immature, then you're not the right person to have a business, right? You have to realize that you have to work towards those goals. And the hardest thing is you have to think about, okay, I want to get to this next level. What type of person am I supposed to become for that type of level? The thing is you'll never really know what kind of person you have to be to do whatever goal you're trying to do. But just working on yourself and then also working towards that goal, I think if you do those two things in unison, you can reach your goals faster,
Do you think
more
you
efficiently.
do you think you sacrificed anything?
No,
You don't
if
think you
anything,
sacrificed
no, not at all. If I'm honest, I think when I realized that approach and I realized like, oh, I have to not just work towards my goals, but I have to realize, okay, what kind of person do these goals make me be, right? Like, what are the things that are required of anyone that has those goals already achieved, right? I need to become that person. And it's not like I'm selling my soul or something like that. Oh, some businessmen are very conniving and conning. That's no. I'm not saying that. You have to look at like, okay, some of them are really good leaders, like some of them can speak really well, some of them can think on the spot and then turn a bad situation into an amazing one and still get, investors in. Right. And I'm just using business as an example. There's obviously many other things you can do as well. Just look at what is required of you and you have to work on yourself as well. If you think you just, working on trying to make a business, but you're not going to work on yourself personally, I don't think you're not going to.
But there are bad traits you have to eliminate to get there.
That's the thing. But if you're thinking that, oh, I got rid of my bad traits, I sacrificed myself. No, that means you got rid of the
Like
bad
I'm
things.
not, maybe if I said sacrifice myself, that's probably the wrong word. What I think is, it's more so you have to, you can't be at that next level with the same personality and same
Oh,
traits.
100%. But that's growth.
But I say
Mhm.
with growth you have to be like a snake. You got to shed your skin and get the dead skin off,
No,
and then
100%.
go to the next level. So like for me, like personally, I had to become less lazy to go through school and get a degree, right? Because I was really lazy back then when it came down to learning something new. I was really I was always a hard worker, but I never used my mental acuity. I always used my physical. So I had to trade the physical hard work for mental hard work and solving problems in a different way. So that was just my example.
Worked out really well for you.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Good job.
How about you? Do you feel like you had to sacrifice or change your attributes in any way to get to where you are now?
I think I've been pretty consistent. It depends on like what I'm doing, but yeah, I mean, laziness has always been an issue with a lot of things, but not much for me. I feel like I've been pretty consistent.
So did you feel like you had to, even in your businesses, do you feel like you had to do things you didn't want to, that you were naturally not, like you would respond to it if you were not running the business, you'd probably let things go, but because it's your business, you have to be
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a different. That's something that you own. Everything you do, that's comes back to you. Job is different. You make a mistake. That's somebody else's company or whatever. But you good personality wise, it is a little different. Me running a business was totally different type of personality, I guess, compared to working an office job.
Mhm.
You know.
No, I think what you mean is like the example is like this. Like you're a kid that like you're 18, you go to war, right? You don't come back a kid. You have experiences. Those things changed you, right? So with all the things you've done since high school, the person you were from high school to the person you are now, all the endeavors you've been through, the companies you work for, or whatever, like the businesses you started, you're saying you've never had to like grow your personality, become a different a better person, a better version of yourself.
I think obviously I have, but I feel like the biggest difference is
Obviously. You went from,
Obviously.
you went from no to obviously.
No, that's why I had to clarify.
You guys are gonna have to cut this out. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I feel like I'm more stress free, especially after doing my own business. Um, I don't try to. When I was younger, I was stressed over remedial things. So
Yeah, so
like,
you did grow
yeah.
up,
So
yeah.
if you're just coming from that point of like for your mental health and stuff, I've gotten much better just to let things be as is.
Mhm.
'cause
So you became more resilient.
yes, I'll say like I always tell people like the sun's still gonna come up tomorrow no matter what, right? Whatever's
Yeah.
happening. So I feel that if
What if it's a cloudy day?
Well, it
man,
still
the
comes
light,
up.
the still sun still comes up.
Do you see it?
It doesn't
Well, he
matter.
never said that you'll see the sun come
I
up.
said the sun.
He said the sun
Yeah,
just comes up.
the sun still comes up.
It
Yeah.
does.
If a tree breaks in the middle of the forest and no one's here to
Wait,
no one's around to
hey,
hear a sound.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wait, but the sun is stationary in space, so it doesn't come up.
No, it's not stationary. Barco
It's
is
not?
moving millions of miles an hour.
Yeah, it's
The
still
sun?
moving. It's
Everything is
orbiting.
moving.
The sun's moving.
Yes.
Wait.
We're orbiting.
Marco, the whole
wait,
solar system is moving.
We're orbiting around the sun. But
Yes, and the sun's orbiting around the Milky Way.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
Did you wait?
Yes.
The sun.
So we're moving, and so we're moving like this around the sun, right?
Yes.
But the thing is, the sun's moving also, so we're like this. We're like spiraling like this
Around the Milky Way.
around the Milky Way with the sun.
Marco. I don't
So
know what to say right now.
is the sun?
You're one of the
So
smartest.
is the sun?
You are one of those. You are one of the smartest.
What were you
people
gonna
I
say?
know.
So is this so when the sun's coming up, it's really coming up around the Milky Way.
No,
No, that's what we're
the
saying.
Earth is moving, right?
Yes.
So right now we're facing the other direction.
Mhm.
So that's why the other side of the world is sunny right
So
now.
if you don't see the sun come up, did it really come up?
It
No,
comes
the Earth is still moving. That's what I'm saying. Those
The
mechanics
Earth
are
is-
still happening. You said it was a
It
cloudy
goes-
day. It's still gonna come up,
It-
whether or not we see
I
it.
know it comes up,
Yeah.
but whether or not we see it. But if we, it's like I said, if the forest, if you're in the forest,
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Are we back in middle school?
all right. So
What's going on?
this goes back to the. I only know like 3 things: money, games, and yeah. So that's it. Oh yeah, music. There's that.
You shared something on Instagram, but I want to go check it out.
What?
Charlie Clips.
Oh my God,
Dude.
Charlie! Listen, I wish
I don't know what that is.
I wish my other boy was here. I would have gone in right now on battle rap.
Dude, it's poetry.
It is. Well, actually, do you like rap?
Sorry.
How about
He's not really into music that much.
how'd you like the halftime show?
It was. I'll give it a 6.
I love it.
He's probably the type to say, "Oh look, there's Kendrick Lamar."
I like the.
He was the guy who's like
Wait, did
A minor.
Did he?
That's like
Did he even play all of his hits? I feel like there's
no,
there's
that's
better songs that I've heard.
No. But that wasn't the point.
Well, his point was destroying Drake.
That's
what
the
his
thing.
point-
That's such a narrow-minded. That's not what he was doing.
That's literally
That's
the
not
whole
what
thing.
he was doing.
Wait,
No.
what was he doing?
There's like so many TikToks on this stuff. Look at this. You know everything. Oh, you Kendrick Lamar.
I didn't say that.
Hey Zuhair, just so you know, this is all about Drake, and I'm only telling you this.
60% of it was about Drake.
No,
60%.
He can care less about Drake.
69.
care less
Wasn't there one song?
Oh, he
about
doesn't
Drake?
care.
No,
about
he
Drake.
did play that one song. So you're saying that one song is 60% about Drake?
That's what I'm saying.
No.
Oh, that's my point. It was only one song.
There's the dialogue that Samuel Jackson plays goes along with the songs he's playing. That's the thing. He didn't. That's why a lot of people were mad, because a lot of people said the same thing. Oh, he has so many other hits. Why didn't he play those songs? Yes, he could have, but that's not the point. You know, he did it for free, right? He didn't take money for the concert.
Nobody gets
Nobody
paid for the
gets-
Super Bowl.
So
you
why
got
would people make that a big point then?
because there's 100 million people watching you, and then you there.
No. I'm saying, why are people online making that a point? Like, oh, he's not taking money for it.
Oh, I don't know. It's just a stupid. Yeah, no, NFL doesn't pay any halftime performance.
Okay, so take that out. I didn't know that, but he did it to send a message. That's what like everyone's saying online.
To who?
Just everyone watching.
Okay. I'll
Because you're right,
I
no,
didn't
he
know
does
what
have-
you were saying.
No, he does. Obviously, I haven't like rewatched it, right? So I can't like say, oh, these are the reasons why. But from the things I've seen online and the things I've read, there's a reason why he didn't play his hits. And I agree with you. He has a lot of hits. But his reason himself, as an artist, was I don't care about playing my hits. I want to get this message out.
What was the
What was
message?
the message?
I don't know.
This guy right here. What was that?
Yo, you can't.
I don't know. It's
The one
no,
thing. The one thing I saw was I realized it's like way after the fact. Samuel L. Jackson played Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
Which is great. Hey man, if he can play that character in Django Unchained, he can play whoever.
Yo, but
what was his name?
He's Uncle Sam, but his name is also Sam.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, I can pull up the video and show you guys, but I can't right now. But no, there is. I'm saying there is a deeper message.
All I know is there's an American flag. Someone did the Sudan flag.
I give it a 6. I think 6 is good enough.
What was the last year
one? I can't remember. What was last year?
What's the last year one?
I don't even remember. I'll give Brianna a 9. She was good.
Rounds was good. Didn't one year have the weekend, right?
Oh yeah, that one was no. The weekend was the last year. I forgot who was last year.
What was I gonna say? They've never had Taylor Swift on the concert, right?
Well, she doesn't need the NFL. The NFL needs her.
Well, no. The reason I'm saying is why haven't they used her?
Because I just said, she doesn't need the NFL. What is her doing a halftime show? How does it benefit her? She's already the biggest pop star in the world.
But won't the NFL benefit by people? I mean, people are gonna buy tickets regardless. I don't think in the past recent years.
But you see what the Swifties are doing right now. So, because her fans are a little crazy. You remember that player C.J. Gardner? He kind of pushed Kelsey, right? So his mom owns a restaurant. I forgot what state it was in. Swifties are literally going on their website and giving her bad reviews and calling C.J. Gardner's mom and him names because there's people literally saying you mess with
the Swifties
and the like Kelsey's their guy, so they're like attacking his mom. That's how crazy.
I've seen that, and people literally are saying, "I don't care if this is bad, but you mess with Taylor Swift, you're messing with me." Like people have actually said that.
This is Taylor Swift we're talking about.
Taylor Swift fans, not her. I feel like Taylor Swift herself. I feel like I've never like hated on her or anything. Like I like her, like her music is okay, but
they sound like Trump fans.
It's a cult. To be honest with you.
Which one?
Taylor Swift fans. Like, they are like everything. I feel like everything they do in their life revolves around her. I'm talking about the hardcore Swift, not like a regular.
There's a reason.
Do you think Trump fans are cults?
I think any radicalized people are cult. Anyone that has the same with liberals too. No, liberals have.
First of all, we're not going to get into politics, but Republicans and Democrats, depending on what side they're on their side.
No, that's what I'm saying. So wherever side you idolize,
divided country.
Wherever side you idolize, there are any group. Like same with Pokemon fans. There's probably Pokemon fans that are like diehard Pokemon fans that like only think of the world as Pokemons. Like there are
only think of the world as Pokemon.
Remember those kids in high school? Like
what are you trying to say about Japan, huh?
I don't say anything about Japan. First of all, we can learn a lesson from Japan.
We can learn a lot of
because their fans, when they went to the World Cup, they stayed after and they cleaned up to help. Even though that the stadiums had janitors on staff and everything cleaned up, they represent the country. I like that.
Japanese are different, man.
I wish that happened in America too.
We're too busy fighting each other, Bart.
There's guns there.
And the reason why I bring up the cult thing is because
we only clean bullets.
No, we only clean the inside the barrel of a gun.
The reason why I bring up the cult thing is because there's a lot of tribalism that I think in human societies, right? We already have. That's embedded, right?
That's actually
from the hunter-gatherer time, where I can't. I really can't. Every time you interrupt me, man, I realize. I mean, I think about it like Trump has built a huge following for the last almost decade since he ran. Actually, no, decade since he started running back in 2015, and it's something where I'm looking back. I'm like, wow, that's. Although it's scary, it's actually pretty interesting to look at. There's people who will just listen to what he says and think it's true.
No, and you can say that about most politicians.
No. I don't think any other politicians
Sleepy Joe was literally sleeping. People were like, it's okay, he's my president.
No, you actually.
You know, it's not just a Trump thing. There's like leaders all around the world where people are just like, yeah, what
No,
he's
like
saying
like
is true.
Hitler and like.
I'm
Yeah,
not even
people-
saying past. I'm talking about present as well.
No. I think with like Putin, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people in like the news, like Putin owns the news network over there, so he's
the Republicans own most of the. It's
Yeah.
the same thing in America.
Yeah, same thing in America. We have biased news.
Our
Yes,
views are
wait, wait,
biased.
no.
CNN is all about Democrats.
Listen.
Fox-
The fact that you said news, like CNN, Fox News, there's only one over there, and Putin owns it. That's the only medium that Russians
Okay, when
get.
they have two parties, they'll have two channels then.
Yeah, exactly.
No, there's no two parties. There's
Well,
no.
this is saying one there is a two
no,
second part.
but it's by design because
Marco,
it's like a dictatorship.
we have a dictatorship, but it's just divided into two parties, basically.
No, we don't.
First
We
of
have a
all,
dictatorship here?
you watch the liberal media is on their side and the conservative media is on their side. There's
What are you
no
talking
influence.
about?
But what?
What are you talking about?
What you think? The CNN is out there, congratulating Trump on winning and stuff. They don't care.
No. Let's say it's divided right down the middle. CNN is Democrats. Fox News is Republicans. Hold on.
Yes.
Let's say it's that way, right? Where's the dictatorship? Who's the one person ruling both?
Well, we know who's ruling America. We just can't say it.
Who?
I'm not trying to get canceled, but
Who? Elon Musk? Who?
it's Elon's kid.
Elon's kid who picked his nose during the last media press?
Wait, what?
It was like this. He's digging up his nose.
He's like, didn't his dad? Didn't Elon Musk's like family own like a mine or something, right?
In South Africa?
Yeah, so he was digging his mining up there.
Oh yeah, but without the pickaxe. Listen,
hold on.
I
I think in the U.S., it's the people that have actual money, banks, and big corporations that I feel like those are the rich people are what behind what's happening in America today. It doesn't matter who the politician is.
insert video link to oligarchy video. Because literally me and Bo were talking about that. So you think we live in an oligarchy?
To a certain extent, yes.
Okay, that's different than a dictatorship, by the way.
What was the original topic?
Cares
I
about
forgot
Russia.
how we even got here.
No, because he said we live in a dictatorship.
He said we're
said-
basically like.
I said we have. You said Russia has biased media. They only have one channel. I was like, we have biased media. The only difference is we have one media on one side and the other media on the other. There's no middle.
There's no unbiased news. He's saying.
He's saying Twitter, I guess. Only Twitter.
So you take back what you say about dictatorship then.
We're
I
a,
don't think he
dicta-
cares
we're,
anyway.
we're a dictatorship in the name of democracy.
Damn, demagoguery. Socrates said it first.
Mm-hmm.
That thing, I think.
You know what? Pakistan is the same. We are, we both countries. My back country back home and the country I live in.
So in other words, I think is it just human behavior? Eventually we get to corruption. Eventually we get to
Eventually we are there.
Eventually, we lost our morals.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think in the U.S. I
still love this country.
Yeah. You know, let's clarify that. There's
Yeah.
one thing, and I know I'm cutting you off. I'm sorry. There's one thing like I don't like is like I see on TikTok as well too, and wherever social media you go on. There's like a lot of hate. Like Americans living in America, like hate for our country. I'm like, okay, I understand you're upset with a lot of things happening.
Well, like hate what? Like hate.
They're like, oh, down with America, down with military, down with this, down. And I get it. Like I understand that. But you also have to understand, like, there's a lot of things that we're allowed to do in America that in other countries you would get like, thrown in jail for.
Hey, go say something bad about Putin in America and Russia.
Yeah, they'll grab you right away and they'll break your
that's
legs.
what I'm saying, and that's why I push back with the dictator comment, because that is, if you want
I'm not
dictatorship,
saying-
go to Russia. Go to Russia, like you said, right? Freedom of speech does not exist there. Putin owns everything.
No, forget about freedom of speech. I'm not saying that there
No,
aren't
don't forget
issues.
about
No.
freedom of speech.
I'm not saying because people need to understand. Like, I'm not saying all America's perfect. There's nothing wrong. No. There are things, not just America. There are things a lot of countries can fix. That is true.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna be, wishing the downfall for my nation.
Yeah.
Because what's our use being in America then, right? Are we not help like our taxes pay, our help the economy and everything? Would you not want to help your surroundings, your neighborhood, your town, right? We're helping those places out. When you and I go to a local coffee shop as opposed to like, a Dunkin' or something, we're helping that small town's economy, thrive. So for you to say all these things and then do all those other things, it's like I feel like you're kind of being a hypocrite because you want it both ways. You like I don't know. It's confusing to me when
But
I
I mean,
say that.
to piggyback on it, like he's kind of right. I do get annoyed because obviously we know a lot of other immigrants and stuff, and there's people that are like, "Oh, I hate this country." And I get really annoyed. I'm like, "Why are you living here then?" Right? You moved to this country for a reason, right? God gave you the opportunity to be on this land. Whatever you're doing, right, is through God, and then what this land is providing to you. So if you hate it so much, go back to the country you ran away from. So it actually pisses me off when people say I hate America.
Do you see that a lot from immigrants though, or people born here?
Both. I've seen both. I've seen
I
both.
wasn't talking about immigrants. I was talking about people in America already.
No, well, I'm saying people who immigrated to this country who are legal now. You see a lot of that from them, or a lot of people, just the ones who were born here, who, by the way, have no frame of reference and say this is the worst country.
I think that's what you're saying. Yeah. I think it's people that have no frame of reference. Because that's the thing. I'm saying like I'm speaking from the frame of reference, and also because I'm not going to look at one piece of article and be like, yeah, that's the absolute truth. Like, you have to look around, read a bunch of other things, and see what's really going on. That's unfortunately the time we live in. No one media, no matter which country's media you're looking at, is going to give you the right answer or the right information.
But also, I'd argue this, and I was going to say this earlier. Mm-hmm. The truth is harder to find out there than you may realize.
100%.
Right? So it's not that they have the truth and they actively hide it.
Yeah.
A lot of times, there's new information that comes out. Yeah. It changes the whole narrative.
Well, no, that's when it's good to know people that either are from those countries or have ties to those countries, because then you get not only just, okay, what's the news saying? Okay, now what are people that are from that country saying that I know? Does that match up? Is there a disconnect, right? What's happening?
But you ask one person from that country, then ask a second person. They're going to give you a completely different thing.
No,
and it depends on what news channels they're watching.
No, because the thing is, I've noticed online, like...
What, you're saying no as in that you don't agree with that?
No, I'm saying, agree with what?
That you don't get two different opinions from two different people?
Oh, no, I have. I wanted to, I guess, back that up. Is I see a lot of people from, like, other Western countries on Instagram in the comments, and the way that whoever their media is showing, the way they're portraying America, I'm like, it's not that bad. Like, I don't know what you guys are seeing. I don't know how. I've never seen America from the outside perspective, right? So I don't know how bad we look. I know there's a lot of dumb things we do in this country, right? But the way that they like rag on America, it's not like I'm not saying
of education and
all yeah. I'm like it's okay. Yeah, there are people that do those things that are maybe uneducated or whatever the case is. But I'm like, day-to-day life, we're chilling here. We're not having issues.
You know what I'm starting to realize? What? Is that it also depends on which American you ask. Inflation in certain places is higher than in others. Housing costs in one nation or one state is higher than others. Like you go to Arkansas, they're building a lot down there. Arkansas, developing a lot down there. Come to Connecticut, go to Hartford.
We're done developing.
That was it.
We're underdeveloping,
right? Like we're like scaling down.
Like, give me that building back. Right. Well, no, that goes back to my point. Like I was saying, what's the news saying? Okay, now let me talk to locals or people that are from there, right? Like you want to know about Pakistan. You see in the news, oh, they're saying X, Y, Z. You hear? Okay, fine. You go to Pakistan, right? You want to know about Pakistan and everything, and you look at the media and everything, or online, whatever, and then you ask him, "Hey, I've seen this online. I've been reading this. What's your take on it?" And if what he's saying goes along with it, like, okay, cool. I know that this is happening with X degree of like truth, right? Mm-hmm. Or accuracy, I guess.
So yeah, going back to what I was asking, like, what do you guys think that a lot of the hate for America comes from? You said it comes from the people that are already born here, right?
I'm starting to see more now, especially with social media and stuff. It's like if people don't agree with, well, let's say with what Trump is doing, like instead of, because he's running the country, they're putting the hate towards America instead of maybe an individual and stuff. So you do see that a lot online.
I just realized, or just had an epiphany of, it's same with immigrants, right? They had an issue in their country and they left. right? For the most part, most immigrants just leave because they have an opportunity and they go, right? I think from I'm just creating this from the top of my head. He's saying, he's seeing it lately. Even I said I'm seeing it lately from people that are already born here, right? Maybe it's because they've never been in that predicament where it's like, oh my god, I think I might have to leave my country, right? With
Yeah.
people outside, it's like that's like a normal thing for them, right? Their neighbors left to go, Australia or something, right? And that society's used to people just going out, emigrating out elsewhere. I think in America, people are like, wait, I'm too like well seated here. I'm actually kind of comfortable. I just hate what's going on. This country's not doing X, Y, and Z for me. But in their head, they're not like, oh, I think I have to move out. That never occurred to them. It's not like a thing that people do here in America as often as people do in other
We don't
countries.
immigrate to other countries.
Mhm.
I mean, they're starting to, but I feel like
We as in
we have
hold on, we as in Americans.
yes,
Okay.
we have a lot of first world issues,
Yeah.
right? Like half the stuff you see on like back home or in some places in Africa or South America or Asia, that people are like, I wish I had that problem that you have.
Yeah.
So people
It's a
are
matter of perspective.
like here back home, the government doesn't even help you. If you're poor, you're on your own. We live in a state where if you don't have money, 99% you're gonna get help from the government, right? So I feel like a lot of people, and if you're talking about people that are born, yes, they don't have the idea of
Mhm.
what's it like in
Yeah.
a different country because they've never left. A lot of Americans have never even left their states.
Yeah.
So that's another thing.
I think some of the people who immigrate here are more patriotic than the people who are born here.
I feel that because we have come here, like obviously we were young when we came, but our parents, if you just talk to your parents or your grandparents, they'll tell you the situation they were living in and what they sacrificed to bring us to
Mhm.
this country. To a different language at the age of 40 plus. Whatever.
Hold on, I want to go off of his thing too. The thing is, even now, like now that we're older, you look back and we're looking at our country, and it's like, oh, we didn't really miss out on much. Like here, like I'm not saying like we're millionaires now, but looking back there, you're like, oh, we're definitely like, thank God, we're doing a lot better than what we probably would have been doing back there. So yeah, you do get more of a sense of like patriotism and more like love because it's like this is a place that kind of raised me. I like these values here. I don't see myself going anywhere else because I know what it could have been like, and this is what I'm settling for. This is what I like. I'm okay with this. I'm comfortable with this. I think most Americans don't understand that what your life could be like. They just know what their life is like right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think of it like the snotty rich girl or boy in the nice fancy mansion who got an Audi instead of a BMW, and she's complaining that the allowance is only $1 million a week and not $1.5 million. And so, like, it's a matter of not understanding, like you said, not understanding what your neighbor, and I mean like our country's neighbors, which are really across the world. Canada's doing pretty good, I think, but
The
or even
51st state
even oh
coming up.
That's not gonna happen. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
but yeah, so or like people in South America are like right south from us, like the amount of kidnappings, the drug cartels down there, like it's crazy, man. But I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, I for me, I love my country. I it's funny because like I have a buddy at work. He's doing his citizenship test for because he's out in London and he's becoming a citizen there, and so he has to like understand like United Kingdom, I guess British history.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about it. He cares more about like the American side, and he's because it was in him. Even though he's out there, he's been out there for 5 years. His American blood is still in him, and he wants to sort of he loves it here, and he loves the history here, but he's out there, So it's one of those things where I know, like, if I were to like go to Colombia one day, or if I was to like go outside of the country, I come right back. Like even when I went to Brazil, like for those few weeks, like week one, I'm like, I miss home, man. I love the prices though, but I miss home.
I mean, for vacationing, a lot of these places are fine, but I don't know, like, you can't. The only other country I'll probably like comparing the U.S. to is Australia.
Yeah,
They're kind of like
with the
their
kangaroos.
land and the way they are is kind of similar to us. If I'm picking another first world country apart from Canada, because Canada's they're
You're
basically
gonna
us.
you rather deal with all those crazy animals and spiders and bugs and lizards. And,
No, I'm just talking about the people and the type of environment, not the land, what they got. You know.
well, I mean, we don't have to deal with.
First of all, we got Florida, okay, so it's about the
yeah,
same.
but you're not dealing with like
What?
spiders the size of like your face or
We
something.
got alligators that right outside.
Plus an alligator. I'm talking about a spider. Like an alligator, you know from as a child how big an alligator is supposed to be. You see alligator like that, you're scared. But a spider, you've always seen spiders like yay big, right? When they get like this big, you're like, okay, I'm kind of scared. They got like spiders like this big.
You'll get used to the Aussie way.
Do you think Canada's gonna be the 51st state?
No.
Why not?
Do you think people in Canada are gonna even agree to that?
What do you think they have a choice?
I was gonna say, is it Trump like removing protections for Canada?
But Barca, don't
What
we
kind of
help them a
protections?
lot with? First of all, if the U.S. just pulled out military help, Canada can probably take it over by.
But I mean,
right away.
do we do the same thing for South America? Do we protect South America?
The U.S. wants to protect who they want to protect. Okay.
So we don't protect South America, but they aren't the 51st state.
Is there oil anywhere? Then we will protect them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all of South America is not one country like Canada, but like for me, I mean, I'm thinking about like because he also brought up Greenland, naming it like Red, White, and Blue Land, which by the way is the worst name I've ever heard in my life.
Please don't name it that.
See, real quick. See, this is my issue though. Like,
real quick.
yes.
Like, do you guys think that's gonna happen?
No.
I feel like the only way it happens is if Denmark agrees to sell it to us.
And what do you think they?
Well,
Do you want that to happen? And maybe really
strategically, from what it looks like, maybe we should. If first of all, the people of Greenland want separation from Denmark, right? They want their freedom. They want it to be their own. I feel like if they get an opportunity, they deserve to be their own country. But if Denmark decides to sell it and we keep it and make them the 51st state, I guess it's fine.
Do we want them? It's
all
all ice.
Is my thing. I feel like we have so many bigger issues to tackle.
See, first world
We're
problems.
really worrying about Greenland. Like, this is my thing.
Or Gulf of America.
That's like, dude, we have bigger issues. We've had bigger issues since like forever, right? And you're telling me that everyone just suddenly is like, yeah, we gotta call it Gulf of America. Oh yeah, we gotta buy. You guys didn't even know that these things existed.
This is what this
Until
is
since 3 months ago.
This is my thing. But there's people out there that can't even point out Greenland on the map.
That's what I'm saying.
But they think that is high priority because Trump said it.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
is that not a cult to you?
No, I agree. What I'm also saying is a lot of people don't read. Like, just read, guys. Just read.
Wait, what do you want them to read, though? What do you want them to read?
Just read. Just start reading. I'm not even... Just read. Just read.
Reading, like, Google Maps? What do you
No,
want
just read. Like, it's just...
That's too, man. Get your geography
read,
right.
Hear both sides, right? And understand. Comprehend. This is, I think, the issue as well. If I'm, like... Say I'm a Trumper, and you're a liberal, right? I feel like people's mindset they're so narrow-minded. They're like, I'm not even gonna hear what you have to say because you're not a Trumper like me. Oh, you're a Trumper, cool. I'm gonna listen to you, right? I feel like that's happening. That's been happening since what 2015, right?
Yeah.
People are attacking each other like that. Like, oh wait, you're not the type of person I am. I don't want to listen to you. Why? We could literally listen. Oh wait, actually, your idea is kind of nice. I like it. I think maybe we should. That's like how our society started, like from way back then. Right? We had a community. Like, what I'm saying is, we're all Americans. Why are we dividing ourselves? Like, and like, how you're saying tribalism, right? We've, like, if there was another tribe, then you're worried about them. Like, hey, I don't know these people, right? But our tribe is America. Why are we fighting with ourselves? Like, dude, we have bigger issues to deal with.
We need a third party. That's what we need.
I think the biggest issue is
we need more books in school.
The biggest issue is misinformation. Because even if you read, you're reading the wrong thing sometimes.
That's why you gotta read everything.
Well, listen, at the end of the day, 8 hours in your day. If 2 of those hours
in my day.
I'm sorry. 24 hours in a day. 24 hours in a day. 8 hours of it is
on
sleeping.
Jupiter.
8 hours of it. 8 hours of it is sleeping. 8 hours of it is working. The other 8 hours is leisure, right? In those 8 hours of leisure, there's only a certain amount of information you can input at one time. And it's hard when the people who you trust to give you news, to give you guidance, whatever it is. Because typically, think about it. You have like one doctor, you have one dentist, and like one politician that you may like, right? Or one president that you may follow.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that second opinion when it comes down to politics. People don't even get a second opinion for when they go to the dentist. It's they don't go in there like, you know what? I don't know if what you said is correct. I'm gonna go to a different guy. So why do we expect that people are going to have a second opinion on politics, where
Well,
the country should go?
with the dentist stuff, it's like you know that person's backed up because they'll say like, "Oh, I'm board certified." You know, these are like my degrees.
They have
or-
credentials.
They have credentials, right? So obviously you're not going to question what a dentist. And I think I don't like that as well because I've seen a lot of people do this. Like they'll Google stuff, right? They'll Google stuff. Oh, by the way, a doctor, I Google these things, and you know, Google told me this. So now you're telling me the guy who went to school for like 8 years plus, you know more than him.
Well, that's the thing.
I don't like that.
I think people do not care
Mhm.
about credentials anymore either. We let a guy who is into real estate development
Mhm.
run the country.
Mhm.
So we don't care about credentials. You just need to be at least 35 years
Yeah.
or older, and you have to be born in America. That's a credential
No,
for being the
it's-
president.
You don't even have to look alive. You can be president.
You could be sleeping
Yeah.
the whole presidency if you want,
Yeah.
right? Like, so do credentials matter anymore?
No, it's not.
It's
It's
a
not even-
popularity contest.
You know, I agree with that. I
Exactly.
agree that it is a popularity contest, and that's the thing. Like, even like in debates, like I don't feel like they're answering. Okay, as a politician, right? You're not gonna be really answering every question to the truth, right? You're gonna mold it. You know, you ask me a question, I'm gonna answer that exact question. I'm gonna say something here, say something there, right, and then mold it into what I actually want to tell you, so I can get my point across, right? Whether or not that even went with your question or not, right? But like my thing is like we just to me it seems like we just gave up like our like values, just because we want to be on like a winning team or we want to see actual change, right? Like there hasn't been a president that didn't cause any sort of change, right? So I don't know why people aren't like trying to work towards better goals together. Like you could have a CEO of your company, right? Do you and that CEO share same like political ideologies? Probably not, right? But when it comes to the company, you're like, yeah, I trust this guy regardless of what his political ideologies is, because I know we got to work together as a company to grow, prosper, all these other sort of things, right? Why don't we work that way? People are like, oh, I don't share the
because
with him.
because goals and prosper
Mhm.
are in the eyes of the beholder.
That's true.
Because at the end of the day, one's aiming towards like it's not as easy as profit maximization, right? The priorities are only set by the president, and then people just follow along or they don't.
Well, no,
And Congress by setting the budget.
but also this is the thing too, and obviously it's a lot easier said than done. It's like it starts at a small level as well. You could have a voice by being mayor, senator, whatever it is, congressman, congresswoman, right? And once you have like-minded people in all those faculties, I feel like then you could actually like get more growth out of it, right? It's like if you have a company and you have people that are ill-fitted to run those positions, your company's not going to be ran that well or as efficiently. It could probably still get by, but it's not being run to its optimal like strength it could be, right? But if you replace those people in your company with like people that like know what they're doing, they know that one field. This person knows that field that they're supposed to know, right? When you have that, you have a lot more optimization. I think that's the thing with America. I think we lost our optimization, and we're kind of just worried about this popularity contest, like you said.
Because we have a lot of people in smaller groups that are not optimized.
No, not because we have people. I'm saying even like I'm talking about from top to the bottom.
So we're just inefficient.
We're inefficient, yeah.
Okay, like in the next election, Trump's not going to be able to run. You don't think it's going to be a popularity? If you think people are actually going to listen, oh, I actually care what he has to say. I'm like, sir, there's going to be a certain amount of population that do care about that, but most people are, do I like this guy or do I not like this guy? That's what everybody's thinking.
But remember, we live in an age of misinformation. Whatever it is you look at, whether it's social media, news, whatever, that's gonna mold your opinion on that president in that popularity contest. So you have people like apparently like Russia was involved in the 2016 election, 2020 election, all that,
Keep
right?
your vote.
Or 2020 election, actually, right? No, 20, both. So you're gonna have, and just like what happens in Russia, right? You have people, you have news agencies that feed certain things like, hey, Russia, our election was done the right way, when behind the scenes it really wasn't. Votes weren't counted, blah blah blah, right?
You're talking about? Did you know North Korea had an election
When
like a month ago or something?
Who ran?
Nobody knows. There's a video of Kim Jong Un actually going to put his own vote, and he didn't get 100% of the vote. Look it up. I saw it in a
That's
short or
hilarious.
something.
that could be misinformation.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm joking.
It could be.
No,
I saw it. I saw it in a short.
Well, and again, now we have platforms like YouTube and stuff like that, where in social media, you can say anything.
Yeah, why aren't we giving them freedom?
What?
What North Korea? They need freedom.
They're talking about us.
Oh, why aren't we giving them
Yeah,
freedom?
those people need freedom. There's an actual maniac running that country.
Well, what's it best for
Family.
us though? That's
Yo,
the
by
thing.
the way, there's people think that we have a maniac running our country. So are people gonna bail us out?
Nobody has to guess it.
You know how many like super, what are they called? Those there's a name for it. Those big warships we have.
Battleships?
Battleship. Well, I know there's like a specific name for like the bigger ones, but anyways, we have the most with the next like 5-6 countries
Do you know how
combined.
hard it is to make U.S. soil?
Forget U.S. soil. You go to Harvard,
Right?
try to go somewhere. You
You know
know,
how many
people got
guns we have
locked
in this
up and
country?
everything.
I don't even think the army needs to step in. The rednecks will take it.
Nah, I don't
You're
know.
the rednecks, bro. Everyone got a gun in their house. They're gonna
Yo,
try to take
Russia,
care of the issue.
Russia got more nukes than us. No matter how many guns we got.
Well, are we even disclosing the true numbers though?
Yeah. Why would
Oh,
we tell? Why would
yeah.
we tell Russia what we have?
Because guess what? Back in the days,
Yes, I know. There's a treaty that we signed.
listen.
If there's one thing we know about the U.S. is we don't tell anybody anything.
There's one thing about the U.S.
We gatekeep.
We love interrupting each other.
We love gatekeeping.
Another country like these small countries like, yo, we need help. Don't worry about it.
Listen,
Hey, how'd you guys get successful? Don't worry about it.
I love.
Come back to the first topic.
Everything comes full circle.
That country's walking out of the hallway. Dang man, we have an oil issue too. Oh yeah, no, I'll help you. Come back. I'll help you.
I don't know. I'm scared of what's gonna happen the next decade. We have AI now. It's creating images that
Oh yeah,
fake.
it's scary. Like
It's supposed to be a productivity tool, but people are gonna use it with malice. It's hard.
100%.
I think a lot of even like the websites, the AI generator websites, they're getting conned by these fake AIs that are producing real results. It's so weird, man. And it's like, yo, how do we adapt to this? How are our kids gonna adapt to this? Right?
that's their problem.
Shit was gonna be our problem too. We're looking for a good
Bro,
40,
I'm
50
just
years.
trying
I'm
to
gonna be
chill.
retired. I'm gonna sit
Just
on
trying
my
to
sofa
chill.
and watch
You're
TV.
gonna
I'm trying to have a farm, bro.
be retired in 10 years?
Well, 10 years. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you know, I got the drive. Who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows?
You never know.
How much you need to retire? In the bank.
I don't know.
$40.
I don't have a number yet. We'll see.
You don't know?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
My number.
We'll see. We'll see where the inflation goes.
My number probably is like if I want to retire for like 30 years, I have to be like I have to have like $300,000.
300.
Thousand.
You're gonna have to adjust that for inflation. I don't think that's enough. What are you talking? Jamaican dollars?
Jamaican dollars? What do you mean?
300,000?
$300,000 in
That's
the
it?
bank? Yeah, I mean
After
probably-
30, you're saying after 30
like,
years?
when I-
After 30 years. Or you're
No, he's saying if he wants to retire for 30 years, he wants to have a collective of $300,000 to last him 30 years.
yes.
If you're taking that $300,000 and moving to Brazil, I think you're good. But if you're doing it here, you're not.
No, why?
Cost what? $300,000.
Are you saying if you had that lump sum right now, you would be good.
You'll survive for 3.
I'm-
Is that because you're gonna invest in the stock market and get
Yeah,
dividends?
I was gonna say, like,
Yeah.
first of all,
Oh, okay, you didn't say that. You
no,
just
but
said that.
even if I invest in a high yield money market account for
S&P?
at 2% a year,
Okay.
I'm fine.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you
Well,
said
I
just
mean,
300,000.
Your bills can't be. Think about, are your bills $100,000 a year?
No.
Is it $10,000 a year?
It's probably
It's actually
5,000
more.
a year, I think.
It's more. It's like $30,000 a year.
Yeah, yeah.
So you got 10 years at $300,000.
Hey, what if you want to spend on a car, man?
Well, he's saying you're breaking even at that point with the
That's
300,000.
what I'm saying. Like that's like bare minimum for a long time. That's 10 years. You're gonna get bored after the first year. It's like for me, like
I mean, if you're investing the money, that's different. I thought you just had 300,000 and that's it, you know. So
yeah. What time is it?
I don't know. Can we talk about the Super Bowl?
Bro, we just did a halftime show
I just want
What
to.
time is
I just want to talk about the ending and stuff for like 5 more minutes.
without AB.
Who cares about AB?
No, we gotta have AB there. I trust me. I have never been as locked in anything with you two, like you and AB. And
We
there.
first of all, him and I didn't even get into the things we don't. Agree
No. I know that. That's why we
a
got
lot of things we were talking about that day we actually agreed on.
I'm still waiting on the freaking time.
Yes.
What time is it?
What is that?
7
So
o'clock.
it's there you go.
Oh, okay.
You can't read that clock, yo.
It's
Barco,
tiny.
We gotta read. I told
I
you
don't
we gotta
know-
read
I
everything.
don't know.
Hieroglyphics.
Barco.
Bro, I
emojis.
know how to read an analog clock. I was
Are
just
you
saying.
keeping that video about the sun? I think you're gonna get clowned. So don't put that.
Wait. Not a lot of people know that.
You know,
The
people didn't know the
sun-
sun's a star.
First of all, 50% of people think that the sun revolves around the Earth instead of the Earth.
What are we
revolving-
back?
People believe that the Earth's flat too. So
So if I didn't know that the sun.
But the sun is a lamp. You didn't? Did you know that? That's why it's stationary.
I just said it was stationary. You said it wasn't.
No, I'm just.
You said no, the sun moves.
anyways, guys.
That's for the flat.
Anyways, thank you very much. Like and subscribe. Please share with your friends. Give us feedback.
Click the bell icon.
Enjoy your weekend.
Click the bell icon.
Yes, the bell icon.
That's what the other YouTubers say.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys.
I gotta
pee
so
We
badly.
talk about like 5 topics.
Yeah, that's 5 videos.
Stop trying to clown my boy Trump, all right, yo.
You're like, it's so sleepy. You're lucky I was trying to be. Nope.
Don't tell me you didn't record.
Oh my god.
Did it stop recording? It stopped recording.